US and Spain have announced cooperation on regional migration centers across Americas to incentivize a safe, orderly, humane and regular migration. The announcement was made by Spanish Foreign Minister, who is on a visit to the US along with US Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Now, he also assured cooperation on reducing irregular immigration and promoting labor-related pathways for migrants from the Americas, while Blinken said that the centers will also give would-be migrants the opportunity to stay in their own countries. They will also determine whether the migrants have a legal pathway to come to the United States or to Spain. French Foreign Minister Catherine Colonna welcomed her Chinese counterpart Xinjiang to Paris on Wednesday. Colonna said that China has a role to play in global peacekeeping. Before meeting Xinjiang, the French minister said that Russia needs to be convinced to return to full compliance with the UN Charter. She added that she would like to discuss the situation in North Korea, asserting that it is showing an equally worrying attitude. The visit comes as European Union is working on a new set of sanctions to hinder those continuing to trade with Russia. It has identified China, Turkey, the United Arab Emirates, as well as states in Central Asia as potential culprits. US President Joe Biden is all set to host Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi during an official state visit on June 22nd. The White House reported the same as Washington works to deepen ties with the world's largest democracy, India. With escalating tensions with China, Biden has been eager to strengthen relations with India amid growing tensions with China, like we just mentioned. Scores of migrants began lining up in a temporary staging area in the state of Texas in the United States of America on Wednesday. This came as COVID-19 border restrictions known as Title 42 comes to an end today. The migrants lined up in Camp Monument in Brownsville, where they were searched and processed by the U.S. border agents. The policy, Title 42, was implemented in March 2020, that is at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. It has allowed the U.S. authorities to expel hundreds of thousands of migrants to Mexico without the chance to seek any kind of U.S. asylum. U.S. Representative George Santos on Wednesday vowed to fight charges of fraud, money laundering and theft of public funds. The charges are the latest to hit the newly elected Republican, who has been facing calls to resign for allegedly lying over his resume. Appearing in a New York court, Santos called the federal charges a witch hunt. A 13-count indictment has been charged. He has been charged with defrauding prospective political supporters by laundering funds to pay for his personal expenses. He has also been accused of illegally receiving unemployment benefits while he was employed. A top official from NATO said on Wednesday that the alliance does not see China as a threat. The official also ruled out any military plans against Beijing. However, Admiral Rob Bauer, the chair of NATO's military committee, added that China represented a challenge. The remarks came when tensions between China and NATO's leading member, the United States of America, has flared up in the past few months, especially when a Chinese high-altitude balloon appeared in its airspace, which the US shot down. But the official said that the alliance is working on military plans against Russia and terror groups. US President Joe Biden returned to Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. Biden had visited New York, where he spoke at a college of about $31.4 trillion debt ceiling. He has piled pressure on the Republican lawmakers to move quickly to raise the limit on the government's permitted borrowing. The president has warned that if the ceiling is not raised, then the economy will head towards a recession. The president of Costa Rica on Wednesday removed his security minister and other top officials from the office. This came as the Central American nation recorded its worst year ever for homicides. The opposition parties have criticized him, saying that he has not acted enough against surging murder rates in the country. They have also called out his decision to suspend a proposal to boost street patrols, which he took back in April. Costa Rica ended 2022 with the highest number of murders on record, with a rate of 12.6 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. Data for the first quarter of 2023 also indicates a 40% jump from the same period last year. Germany will be spending an additional €1 billion in 2023 to cover the costs for refugees who have come to the country, mostly from Ukraine. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz made the announcement on Wednesday. Scholz made the announcement after holding deliberations with 16 state prime ministers, which lasted for hours. The Chancellor said that the agreed sum was on top of the blanket means that the government makes available. The fund will be used for digitalization of immigration offices and to better support municipalities. Ukraine on Wednesday claimed that it has pushed back Russian troops from some of the frontline positions. A senior military officer said that the Russian unit in some parts of Bakhmut have retreated by up to a mile. Yevgeny Prigozhin, the chief of the Wagner group, has apparently confirmed the claim. He said that Russia's 72nd Separate Motor Rifle Brigade has abandoned its positions in Bakhmut. Prigozhin added that nearly 500 Wagner fighters were killed in the battle. Dozens of Georgians staged a protest outside the country's foreign ministry building on Wednesday. The protest happened against Russia's decision to restore visa-free travel for citizens of Georgia. It was also done against Moscow's move to lift a ban on direct flights between the two countries imposed in 2019. The demonstrators gathered in front of the building as President termed the move as a provocation. The president, whose position is largely ceremonial, has repeatedly accused the ruling Georgian Green Party of having ties with Moscow ever since it came to power in 2018. She says that the visa liberalization is unacceptable while Moscow's invasion of Ukraine continues. Ukrainian, Russian, Turkish and the UN officials completed the first day of talks on possible extension of the Black Sea grain deal in Istanbul on Wednesday. This after the meeting, Turkish Foreign Minister said that he believes that the deal can be extended for 2 more months. The meeting happened as Russia says that it would not extend the pact beyond May 18th. It has placed its list of demands for removing obstacles to its own grain and fertilizer exports. Moscow says that fulfilling these demands is important to extend the deal further. Egypt has begun mediating a truce between Israel and Gaza officials. This came as hundreds of rockets were fired across the border were launched from the Palestinian side, setting off sirens as far away as in Tel Aviv. Israel responded by targeting Islamic Jihad targets in Gaza. The Israeli military said it hit more than 50 targets, including rocket launching sites. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that the campaign is not over yet. Indonesian President Joko Widodo has called for unity in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations for deciding on the crisis in Myanmar. The President called on the 10-member body to chart a way forward to de-escalate the spiraling violence in Myanmar. Indonesia is chairing the ASEAN summit this year. For the past few months, it has been trying to engage all sides for negotiating a dialogue to end the conflict, which started in 2021 with a coup. Pakistani authorities have arrested a senior leader of former Prime Minister Imran Khan's party. The arrested leader we are talking about here is Shah Mahmood Qureshi, who served as the foreign minister in Imran Khan's cabinet during his 4-year premiership. Two other senior PTI leaders have also been arrested, and that are Asad Omar and Fawad Chaudhry. They were also arrested on Wednesday. The leaders have been arrested at a time when Pakistan has seen a wave of violence since Imran Khan's arrest day before yesterday. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif gave a stern warning to demonstrators on Wednesday as a deadly unrest in the wake of former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's arrest erupted. Sharif said that such protests will be met with an iron hand. The warning came as the government reported damage and vandalization of more state buildings and assets in the country. At least 5 people have died in violence that has aggravated instability in the South Asian country of 220 million people. In the aftermath of Imran Khan's protest, angry protesters stormed and set fire in the building of Radio Pakistan in the northwestern city of Peshawar. The supporters of Khan raided the building where Radio Pakistan is. They caused severe damage and set fire to it as well. Now, since the unrest, at least 4 people have been killed, and police have also been trying to restore law and order. Meanwhile, Khan's legal team has challenged his arrest before the Islamabad High Court. South Korea on Thursday lowered its crisis level for COVID-19. It will also drop its 7-day quarantine mandate from June. However, 5 days of self-isolation will be recommended for the infected people in the country. Several other COVID-19 restrictions too will be dropped. These include mandate on wearing masks at all medical facilities and pharmacies, but they will be mandated at the hospitals with the patient wards. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol said that the government will continue to provide financial support for COVID-19 testing and treatment for a while. Hungary and Serbia have agreed to build a crude oil pipeline. The pipeline will be spanning by up to 128 kilometers, that is between southern Hungarian town Algario and Serbia's Novi Sad. Now, the announcement was made by Hungarian Foreign Minister at a press conference in Belgrade. An agreement regarding the same will be signed at a government meeting on 20th June. China on Wednesday launched its cargo spacecraft Tianzhou 6. The spacecraft was launched atop a Long March 7 carrier rocket. It was launched to deliver essential supplies to astronauts on board its Tiangong space station. The spacecraft was launched from Wingchang spacecraft launch site in the southern island province of Henan. After the launch, Tianzhou 6 separated from the carrier rocket and entered its designated orbit. The solar panels of the cargo craft then came into functioning later. And respite from high temperatures brought some relief on Wednesday from wildfires in Alberta in Western Canada. Reinforcements too arrived for the battling wildfires, for the area that has been battling with the wildfires, which have ravaged for around a week. The authorities said that 76 forest and bushfires remained active in the province compared to 110 a few days ago. 23 wildfires are being considered as of now out of control. The mayor of Parkland County said that all the evacuated residents have returned and 2 highways leading to the county have also been reopened. Floating solar panel farms are beginning to boom in the United States of America after rapid growth in Asia. They are attractive not just for their clean power and lack of a land footprint, but because they also conserve water by preventing evaporation. The structure of these photovoltaic modules is simple. Panels are attached onto rafts. As a result, they float on the water instead of blocking off land that could be used for agriculture or buildings. Finland's outgoing Prime Minister Sanna Marin has filed for divorce jointly with her husband. Marin made the announcement on Wednesday on her Instagram page. Marin and her husband, who until recently worked at a venture capital firm, have a 5-year-old daughter. They married in 2020 while Marin was in office dealing with the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. On an Instagram story, Marin said that despite separation, both will continue to remain best friends. China's falling birth rate is forcing makers of children products to diversify their businesses. With fewer babies than ever being born in China, the companies are setting their sights beyond milk bottles, baby carriers and strollers to stay in the business. With impending changes to the industry, some customers are also concerned regarding their favorite brands going bust. Different shapes of sand sculptures took over a public beach at Egypt's coastal city of Alexandria as artists and students competed in the sand sculpture festival using only sand and water. The artists created magnificent structures even as they faced tough weather conditions. Now the sand sculpture festival will last for 4 days and 3 prizes will be given away.